Let me show you how I achieve this poster in Adobe Photoshop. Create a new document and use the dimension 1080 pixels by 1080 pixels. And then I'm going to turn on my background layer. Alright, and then I'm going to just adjust it to fill up the space. So next I'm going to do is to add some blur effect to this. So I'm going to go to my filter options, then go to blur and then Gaussian blur. Alright, so I'm just going to add some blur effect to this. And then next up, I'm going to bring in the image of the client. So I'm going to go to my documents. And by the way, these are the images I use for this project. I'll leave a link to them to where you can get them in the description box. Alright, so bring in the image of my client. Click OK. Okay, I'm just going to group this and call it, just Ctrl G to call it background. Let's say BG for short. And then I'm going to call this client image. Then Ctrl G to group it. So I'm going to adjust it to fill up the space. Okay, something like this. Okay, so next up I'm going to start, I'm going to bring in the logo, the brand logo. So I'm going to go to, once again, to the document folder and drag it into Photoshop. Alright, I'm going to hit enter, then resize and then bring it up here. So I'm going to I'm going to group this and just rename to call logo. I'm going to call this logo and then Ctrl G to group it and then just call it logo. Okay, this should be client image. Hit enter. Alright, so next up, I think we're good with that. So next up, I'm going to, let me just let me increase the exposure on the image a bit. So go to, click the image and press Ctrl M, and then just increase that brings up, now Ctrl M brings out your curve layer. So just increase it like this to just put to increase the exposure and click OK. Alright, so next up, I'm going to add my text, take my text by pressing the letter T on the keyboard and type in the word happy birthday. Okay, I think it's already in my notepad, so let me just come to my notepad right here, copy this, go to my Photoshop, Ctrl A, Ctrl V to paste, and then I'm going to resize it. Alright, something like so. Now you can also increase the the tracking. So let me just do that quickly. Let me make here 1200. See how that goes. Okay, I think that's perfect. That's better. Alright, so next up I'm going to bring in okay, let me just group this. Okay, let me just group this. Ctrl G to group this, and let me just call it top text or header text. Now you can use any notation of your choice, just use what works for you. And then next up, I'm going to what next? I'm going to bring in this badge right here. The badge or shield, whatever they call it. Okay, and then resize it something like so. Exactly like this. Alright, so I'm going to take my text to once again, go to my notepad, copy this. Okay, Ctrl C to copy, go to my Photoshop, take my text to Ctrl V to paste, and I can just Ctrl A, change it to 6th first. Okay, then let me reduce the tracking. Let me make it maybe 10. Okay, then I'm going to drag it right onto the badge, like so. Now you can add a drop shadow effect if you want, but I think the text is just fine. Now I can also make this bold. Let me select the bold typeface, or the extra bold. I think it's on bold already, so let's go for an extra bold. I think it's cool. So I'm going to go to my notepad once again, and I'm going to copy the February. Alright, then I'm going to duplicate this, Shift, Alt click and drag, double click, then Ctrl V to paste, and then I'm going to bring it right here, just resize it. Okay, now let me just increase the leading a bit, or sorry, the tracking. Okay, let me make it probably 50. Cool. So I'm going to group this and just call it Ctrl G, and just call it dates. Ctrl G, call it dates right here. Alright, so I'm sure you are finding this video valuable. Kindly leave comments and tell me how much you're loving this content, and of course like the video and share to your friends so they can as well benefit from this as well. Alright, so just reposition this. Cool. Okay, so next up I'm going to add my text. Happy birthday. So I'm going to go to my notepad once again. I'm going to copy this, Ctrl C to copy, and then take my text to pressing the letter T on the keyboard, and then come here, Ctrl V to paste. Now I'm going to select the font Quaker. So I'm going to go here and just type in QUA. You can just follow the exact process I'm using, the exact font I'm using. I'm going to use this, the Quad Free Regular. Okay, that's the font. Alright, that's the one I used right here. Okay, let me just get rid of this one. Okay, drop my text to, and then I'm going to duplicate this one so that it will be pretty close to the other one. I'm going to change this to birthday. Okay, drop my text to. Okay, so I'm going to hold it to, just increase the size a bit. Increase the size a bit. Okay, so I'm going to group them. Ctrl G to group. Just call it main caption, or I can just call it better text. Cool. So now I'm going to duplicate this text. Duplicate this because I want to apply some effect to this. So you just create a duplicate, peradventure you make mistakes. Alright, so next thing I'm going to do right here is that I'm going to rasterize this text. First of all, convert to a smart object, and then I'm going to rasterize it. Cool. So I'm going to expand it once again, just increase it a little bit further. Perfect. So next up, I'm going to bring in this into my work area, this gold background into my work area, and I'm going to place it over the text right here. So you can see this is the text I just rasterized. So I'm going to place it right above the layer, and I'm going to clip it to the text. So I'm going to right click here and say create clipping mask. So as you can see, I've successfully clipped the background to the text. So what next? So next up, I'm going to add a little bit of glow effect on the text. So what I need to do, first of all, I'm going to group this, Ctrl G to group them, and call it raster text. Cool. So next up, I'm going to add some sort of glow effect to this text. So I'm going to come down here, create a new layer. Now ensure that it's right above the rasterized text, right here. And then you take your brush tool by pressing the letter B on the keyboard. And then you select a pretty light color. Okay, now let's go for a pure white color. And then ensure that ensure that you select the soft round brush right here, and then you can reduce the size by pressing the left arrow bracket key on keyboard. Alright, so press V to drop your brush tool. Now what I need to do is to come here to my blending options, and I'm going to select a suitable option that's best suits this. Okay, so as I play with my blending options, you see that I want something that gives that glow effect. So I think overlay works fine. Overlay works just fine for that. So I think that's what I'm going to use. So you can see the before and after. If I turn off this layer, or Ctrl Z. So if I turn off this layer, you see that there's a little bit of glow effect. Now next up, I'm going to go to my blending options, or Ctrl Z. So I'm going to go to my blending options right here to add some effect to this text. Okay, so I'm going to go to first of all, I'm going to go to my bevel right here, and just you can just play with the text to see. You can just play around with the options here. I chose emboss. Depth 74, you can just adjust yours to whatever you think works best for you. The size 13. Then I go with a stroke. Okay, come to stroke, select a little bit of a dark color, I think, yeah, something like this. Just play around with the options and then reduce the size. Or you can go for a pretty darker shade of it, something like this. Perfect. And then go to drop shadow. Add a drop shadow effect to just play with the effect and see what works. I think it's just fine. It's fine by me. Okay, so you can see that we have a little bit of the glow text effect on this text. So what next I'm going to do right here is to take my text to once again, and I'm going to type the name of the client. So I'm going to go press my text tool, go to my notepad once again, Ctrl C, copy this, and then Ctrl A, Ctrl V to paste, and then I go to my character panel right here, and I go with the font Poppins. Let's go to bold or a semi-bold. You can just use something that works best for you, and then resize it. So I'm going to change this color to something like a peach. Let's select text, go to our character panel on the right hand side. Okay, then select any font, any color that's of your choice. Let's go for orange. Okay, perfect, something like this. Cool. Now this is the hexa code in case you want to get the exact. This is the exact code. This is the hexa code right here. So let's just go with a bold. I think a bold will work fine. Perfect. All right, or let's work on it. Let's go for a lighter shade of it. Lighter. Okay, I think this is cool. It's better. So finally, I'm going to just add a little bit of glow, and light, some light to my design just to make it pop. So what I need to do is to come to where I have the image layer. Okay, that's right here. Yes, so that's the image layer. So I'm going to once again go to create a new layer right here, and then take my brush by pressing Delta B on the keyboard, and then I'm going to come here and select some like a good color. Let's see how this one works. Pan out. Alright, so I'm going to come right here, increase it. Okay, give a glow here, and then I'm going to duplicate, create a new layer. Okay, create a new layer, or just duplicate the other one. By pressing Ctrl J, and then I can drag it right here, something like so. So if you look at it, our image has glow around it. So that's the before, that's the after. That's the before and the after. So right here I can increase this, make it come somewhere like so, bring it here. Alright, so that's it. So we've come to the end of this project. So I'm sure you had value from this video. If you did, please leave a comment in the comment section, like the video, and also don't forget to subscribe, because I make a ton of full-length graphic design videos right here on this channel. So thanks for watching, and see you in my next video.